So what's up, Spook Gang? We're gonna change the rear rotor on the F150. As you can see, the rotor is in bad condition and I've been getting noises. The previous owner, he did change the rear brakes, but he didn't change out the rear rotor, and I know why, because they were rusted on and it's hard to get off. I spent maybe 3 or 4 hours last night trying to get it off, so it was a pain. So I saved this side for the morning when it's more light, so I won't make all that noise at night too. So I'm gonna use an impact. This makes things easier. This one is a 3/8 little hand one. You're gonna need some type of flat head. That will be for the brake adjuster, the parking brake adjuster. You want to loosen that up. That helps. A ratchet. This C-clamp is to compress the caliper. The hammer is to beat the rotor off. If you have a mallet, it's probably better. Rubber mallet. You're gonna need a 18, sorry, 18, that's for the caliper bracket. 13, that's to get the back part of the caliper off to get the brakes out. A 21, that's for the lug nuts. Also, I have spacers, so I'm going to need a 19 to get the spacer off, but if you don't have spacers, you don't have to worry about that. And this is another 21 just to get the lug nuts off. So yep, that's what I'm going to be using. And this is from the other side. So the passenger side I did last night, and it was making a squeaking noise. You could see these brakes, they're broken, and because of that rust slip on the messed up rotor, it was chipping away. And this is actually like rust inside the rotor right here. So don't put new brake pads on bad rotors. It doesn't make any sense. It defeats the purpose. And these were just done, and you can see how they broken all apart. No good. So make sure you get your rotors resurfaced, or just buy some new ones. That's what I do, because I don't have access to somebody that could resurface my rotors. So this is a new rotor from Detroit Axle. I already know it fits. The other side went on pretty good. And it came with these premium brakes, carbon fiber ceramic. So they look pretty good. They look way better than what came off the car. And it comes with the brackets too. My brackets were still new, so I left them on. So here we go. This is what the brake should look like, and this is what I was riding with. So you can see how it's broken and missing pieces. Very dangerous. I'm glad it started making some type of noise, because you know, I would have been towing with that, and that could have been dangerous. So that's another warning. Be careful when you buy these used cars and people tell you they did stuff. Just make sure it's right. It looks, I don't know, it's kind of hard sometimes, especially in your rush. My thing is, just make sure you get the car low as possible. You always know you're going to put work into a used vehicle. It always happens. I've been buying used vehicles for a long time, and you're always going to have to put some type of work into it. And you can't fully take people's word. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, let's get to it. on the back side of your rotor is this adjuster right here. So this is this rubber grommet you gotta pop out, and then the adjuster is like a little gear behind there. So you need to do this because your parking brake could be a little tight up against the inside of the rotor, and it'll be impossible to get it off. So you need to do that first step. It's already hard enough with the rest, but with that parking brake, yeah, it's impossible. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it's like a little gear that I'm gonna have to use a flathead, and I'm just gonna have to keep spinning. It's either up or down. I think it's up to loosen. I'm gonna have to get in there, guys. But you'll see a gear, and you use the end of the flathead to push each ear of the gear up or down, and I believe it's up to loosen. And you could check by when I just check how tight it is. Like right now it's tight. Like when I loosen this up, I'm gonna be able to go back and forth pretty easy, like up and down. But let's see. Okay, a little bit of the gear, and I'm just bringing it up. Still tight. I got a long way to go. Like a little gear, and I had to push it down to get it loose. So before I couldn't go side to side, but you should be able to go like this. Now I can start. I'm gonna start banging everywhere and trying to get this thing off. So guys, I'm out of breath. It took me about 3 hours to get this rotor off. It was so rusted on, and I went to O'Reilly's a few times. I got an axle puller, wasn't big enough. I've been using this hammer. I got a dead blow rubber hammer, which finally got it off with a ton of this. Like I kept spraying it in between here and behind, trying to loosen things up. I made sure the inside brakes were as loose as possible with the parking brake adjuster, but I was about to give up. See, these are all the blows it took. Like, those are just some of them, all up there. Like, and I'm hitting, and I'm a 400 plus pound bench presser. Like, I'm not a small guy, almost 300 pounds, whacking at this thing, and I couldn't get it off. It is a pain when these things get rusted up. Dealing with the New England weather and the salt, but so happy I got it off. The last side took me a few hours too, maybe like 3-4 hours. So okay, we're gonna install the rotors now. I'm just gonna clean a little bit with some brake cleaner, you know. Just make sure there's nothing in the way so the rotor sits there. So this is the old rotor compared to the new rotor. You want to spray it down with brake cleaner to get off that oil they put on it for packing. Heavy sucker. This thing is heavy. Now we could do our caliper. We want to compress that cylinder, the piston. This is what it looks like. The clamp is on the bottom, and just have the brake thing there so I could tighten it down and compress that cylinder right there. Now I'm just reinstalling the caliper, putting in the caliper bracket bolts, the bigger ones. So these guys are 18s. Caliper bracket, and tighten this back up. Okay, next we're gonna do the brakes. I'm gonna put some brake grease on the back. Do that. I like to rub it in with my finger. I don't know if that's a thing, but I do it. Okay, you just slide right in there. You just slide right in there like that. And then we drop down the caliper. It should clear because you compressed it. Oops, slide it over a little bit. Here we go. And it cleared. And it came with this new hardware, but the only reason I didn't replace it because the previous owner did replace the brakes recently and they look fairly in good condition. So I left them, and next time I'll replace them. So now we're gonna put in our 13 millimeter bolt back in there. So 13. This one up here too. Okay. So there you have it. Now I gotta reinstall the spacer and the tire, and we're done here after a long hard day. One of those days I almost like wanted to give up. You know what I'm saying? MAT. They put thread locker on there, so that's what it's fighting against. Since they're spacers, I set them pretty high, about like 120. So just to make sure, and it's a truck. I didn't look up the specs, so don't take my word for it. DIYer. Trying to make it work. Now I'm gonna do the opposite and try to adjust the rotor, I mean the parking brake again. So I'm gonna go back there and try to tighten it up. Alright, and we're all done. New brakes and rotors. We did it, Spoo Gang. A lot of work getting off these old rusted rotors, but my brake pads were actually broken.